several years later, I was still looking back at those moments and trying to figure out, well, what am I going to call that? What am I going to tell people that I was doing if I ever decide to share this with people? And I was reading a book, I believe it was an Osho or maybe the Vasista or something, and they used the word Samadhi. It was Osho, Beyond Enlightenment. And the definition that he used for Samadhi was exactly that state. Pure, absolute silence. No thought, no visions, no sounds, nobody talking to you, you're not channeling anything, there's nothing there. But within that nothingness abides everything. Every experience, every life that has ever existed or ever will, all knowledge of math and the arts and quantum physics and history and the universe, everything abides within there. And so it's possible that when you come out of that state of samadhi that you can actually hold on to some of that awareness. I have talked with dozens of people, a lot more than dozens, but a lot of people who have had these source experiences. A lot of you in this room have had these experiences at the Mystic Seven Satsangs. And what I found out was when someone had this unity experience, or this eternity experience, or an infinity experience, that they had actually been in a state of samadhi for a fraction of a second before that experience. And what I've come to realize is the importance of samadhi is that it is not until you can completely stop the mind that you can recognize who you truly are. That you can become re-aware that you are the source. In a lot of the Hindu texts, they talk about 20 to 30, 40 different types of samadhi, but I only am concerned about 3. The first one is Asamprajnata samadhi, and that's the samadhi I was just describing. Your eyes are closed, there's no sight, no sound, no vision, no voices, no channeling, no psychic astral projection or traveling or anything like that. There's absolutely nothing, no experience whatsoever. And there's no experiencer to have an experience. And all of you will abide in that state this weekend. If only for a second, you will be there. The second one is Samprajnata samadhi. And Samprajnata samadhi is when you are abiding in a state of samadhi where the mind is completely still. There's not a single thought or agitation of the mind at all. But your eyes are open. Or you're listening to a mantra. You're smelling resins or someone's perfume or the rose. And when you smell the rose, there is no thought of this is a rose. There is no thought of it's beautiful and red. There is only the experience of smelling. There's not something that's being smelled. There's not someone that's smelling. There is just that moment of the pure experience of smelling. And then the mind engages and goes, wow, that's a really nice rose. That smells really, really good. The moment that thought enters the mind, you are out of Samprajnata samadhi. Because remember, the definition of any samadhi, these 3 that we're talking about, is complete and absolute stillness of the mind. There's no thought. So the moment you think, that smells good, the moment the word that enters the mind, you are thinking. Not only are you thinking, but now you've separated. That smells good. There's now an object and a subject that is smelling. You've created separation, and the entire universe has been created. You are out of Samprajnata Samadhi. If you're watching a sunrise and you actually become the sunrise, and for that fraction of a second there is no thought, it's just bliss, and you are that sunrise. You are in Samprajnata Samadhi. And the moment you say, look at how beautiful that is, you're out. Because now there's a thought that has arisen in the mind. Now there's an objective of a subjective reality. Look at the beautiful hues of orange and yellows and purples and pinks. Now you're putting it into boxes. You're no longer in that moment. You're no longer in the pure experience of just sunrise. So remember this. We may not be able to walk a lot of this weekend because it seems to be raining every day here. But a lot of times people have gone out during their walks. And in particular, I think it was our second or third retreat that we had here. A lady went out and sat in one of the benches out by the lake and literally became the water. The third samadhi is Samprajnata Ananda Samadhi. And this samadhi is the same as Samprajnata Samadhi. There's perception. You'll either be smelling a fragrance, watching a sunrise, listening to a mantra or a song on the radio, reading a book, listening to a discourse. So there will be perception. But the difference is in Samprajnata Ananda Samadhi, you will actually there will be an apparent physiological reaction. The way that I explain it is it's like putting your finger in a light socket and your feet in a bucket of water. The kundalini or the chi or the energy, whatever you want to call it, is just vibrating. Sometimes so powerful that you don't even think that you're going to survive. That there's no way that your physical body can withstand that intense feeling. Usually you'll start crying, tears will come out of your eyes. Not from sadness, from pure bliss. But there will be no thought. Until, of course, the tear comes out of your eyes and you go, wow, look, there's a tear. You're out. So recognize these moments during this weekend. When you come back out of samadhi, just be aware of it. Be aware that a second ago there was no sound and now you hear my voice. A second ago there was no smell of the resins or the fragrance, but now there is. A second ago you didn't hear the mantra, but now you do. It's those moments of recognition when you come back or come out of samadhi that you know you were there. Because when you're in samadhi, you don't know you're there. There's no one there to know anything. It's only when you exit or come out of samadhi that you can be aware that you were there. So be aware of that. It's going to happen a lot this weekend. Oh, look, I'm back. And one of you may have a very profound direct experience that comes following that. If not, it's not important.